hairs on my raiment. You have to save them all. You got to weigh them out, burn them later. Uh, but anyway, this is my question. Are you a bummer? It's a simple question. Are you a bummer? What is your life about? What do you do? Um, do you use the resources that are facilitated to you, given by God, for a good thing, or do you just use them to perpetuate shit? It's not that hard to figure out. So, are you? I'll wait. You ever been nuked? Mm. Spilling beer everywhere for the sake of, I guess there's still some in there. That was funny. That's all right. That doesn't matter. Son of a bitch. I broke my finger. It's funny because you can still see where I had it, and I was just trying to rip this thing off, man. Australia, welcome. Christina, did they throw me out to Australia? 6:38 a.m. Well, that ain't shit. You guys are from Australia. You're like, my understanding is you don't get to sleep much there because you're fending off scorpions, which interestingly only like to eat men, and so there's this overabundance of women, but the men that are there, they're men. Yeah, who the hell can sleep these days? Sleep is overrated. You know when you should sleep? After you're done sweating. That's when you should sleep. When sticky doesn't matter, right? Oh, just hang on to me. Ah, shit. I don't want to go to work. We don't have to. There's no jobs. AI took them all. Oh, that's right. What the fuck? Okay. Huh? Yeah. That's what our lives will be like. AI will take everything. Anybody with a brain that used to work? Ping! There it goes. And it's, I don't know. Is that pig wearing lipstick or is it just me, right? And you can't figure it out, man. There's no, it's the kangaroos you need to avoid. Amen. I've seen some videos where, I mean, they look like real videos, and these kangaroos were like, it was weird how they were acting. I mean, they were literally like as if they were taunting them by putting out their chests, like saying, I'm a badass, man. Come on. Just trying to mess with them. And then the thing's like getting cocky, right? But of course, the good Aussie boy, corrected the situation. He was rescuing his dog, actually, is what it was. And he laid out a kangaroo. And it's like, wow, man, that's just nuts. Well, yeah, shit, yeah, I saw it. I watched and I was like, damn, that thing's pretty, like, the only thing, you know what they need to do with kangaroos? They need to teach them how to talk. And you think that would be a bad thing, right? But then see, then at least we could figure out what they were all pissed off about. It's like, dude, hey, stop with the feet. What the hell's wrong with you? Hey, man. I mean, don't you realize that I marked this territory or I don't know, whatever it is, right? I'll take that. Thank you. Um, can Muslims explain the weirdest story about Muhammad ever? What is the story? You got to type. Make it concise. See, because there's spiritual meanings in all of these books that are really, really old. We don't think in the same way that they did back then, I mean, you can see evidence of it as it came forward, right? Like, I'll shoot here. Watch. I'll be right back. I'll give you an example. Hold on, I'm coming. I'm coming. Hurry up. All right. There's a shoulder line. I'm getting it. There's a one. I got it. Okay. So here is your evidence of a fading past. Okay? I loved a good old late night YouTube live scroll. Hey, whoa, you must be in like Sweden or something then. This is Kool-Aid. This is I don't know, Nasty Nancy. She needs a name, but the idea is alcohol. Do you want to know what they used to call that? Distilled spirits. Why do you think they called it that? Because what they did was they were thinking that you were taking some plant and in the process of distilling it, you were literally like putting freaking evil spirits in a bottle, okay? That's how they used to think of alcohol. Of course they did. Otherwise, prohibition. How could an entire country think of it? How could an entire country forsake alcohol to the point of rebellion? I mean, like Al Capone and, man, dude, what? Are you crazy? Come on. Just be, it's not too hard to conceive. You just got to put yourself in the right like, are you an investigator? Any type of a detective? That's what I am. That's what I do. Yeah. You know, when you talk to a lawyer, it's usually not as cheap as this. Okay? I'm telling you, and the law is very simple. Everything's is just facts. And sometimes you can discern details like that they call it, distilled spirits, right? Alcohol, Al Capone, Cahal on the cup phone. I'm supposed to make a phone call. God's talking to me. I'm sorry, I had a Christian moment. That could happen though. But no, it's things that affect our spirit. They looked at things different, long ago, right? Something was bothering you. They looked at there's something evil going on. But the reality is, let me explain. Let's take 2,000 years and put it right in your lap right now, like burning coals. All right, you ready? You just got to do one thing. You got to reduce yourself to being a bag of dirt. And even the hints are there when somebody who wasn't a believer in the things that people that believe in the Bible believe in, he was cleansed of his leprosy, and what did he do after that? He drove off with 2 cartloads of dirt, because there's good dirt and there's bad dirt. But it's like me, I just represent soil, an open field, the garden that comes from this soil is good and evil. It's the tree. Good and evil comes from me. What kind of tree has 2 kinds of fruit on it? Good and evil. Opposite fruits. That's why we're trees. So if I look at myself as being dirt and dust, then guess what happens? That means that I'm only alive and moving because I have said spirit. My energy source, my battery, if you will. Guess what? Where do you get your battery from? One same place, my grasshopper friend. All the same, I don't recall owning a droid before. Yeah, we're all the same. The same thing that makes me alive is that you. So to take a book to fight over the matter is like either the book is wrong or we're wrong. And I'm saying we're wrong. And I'll show you in the book. Don't mess with a lawyer. we'll strip you in public and take your money at the same time. Chicken Dynasty, the queen. Oh yeah, hey, no. When he died, that spirit got into me. Oh, you know what? You can laugh about this. Who is that? What? All right, shout out to West VDW. I did this the stories that I tell. Okay, let's just put it this way. Can you imagine me loose in public? Yeah. Well, yeah, of course I have a real life. So when I tell stories, they're about things that I've done and happened. I don't have to make stuff up. I've lived a very full life, and I'm not afraid of my God because I think I'm doing things crazy ass life in the meantime. However, after I was wrongfully terminated by Walmart, give you a little background so you understand. I just happen to be knowledgeable about because I was mistreated once and went from changing oil to a management position. Okay. True story. And quite the salary hike, might I add. However, they put me in the lap of people that were just intended on like ruin this guy, like take him out, find whatever you can with them, just get rid of him. And guess what they did? They tried exactly that and eventually wrongfully terminated me. But with all this knowledge comes a lot of inside info. So let's get back to the, to the fun stuff. So here's how we'll go dynasty on these guys. I look like this, and you got to imagine me walking up into your local Walmart looking like this. Hey, man. Yeah, I got to set my table up over there. I'm in your circular there and everything. And they're like, what? You're what? They think I'm the dude. I don't even know who the hell the guy's name is from Duck Dynasty. I just knew what he looked like. And so I went in there and just screwing around. And I had these managers crawling all over each other, trying to figure out where to set up my things. How come you didn't tell us he was coming? These people are like wanting to call corporate and shit, He's here. He's here. And then after I got them all turned up and I could hear them talking over the, now I'm, the overhead is now going off with announcements, manager, the front office. Hey, I need somebody out to the back. Where's that truck with the, all the shit's going on. I've like stirred up everything. And then I just go and then quietly sneak back out, to my car and leave. I better get the hell out of here. It's getting ready to get wild, Yeah, I know how to have fun. Is there, I don't know. So far, there's no laws against impersonating a Walmart employee that I know about, or at this point, a dead guy, right? Unless it's Jesus. Now, if you try to impersonate Jesus, who's dead, that's the dead guy. But if you try to say you're him, like lock your shit away like pronto. Ask me how I know. You ever been so stressed out when you're trying to tell people I'm all right? You're doing the little I'm all right. Ain't nobody worry about me. Ain't nobody give me the fight. Why don't you just let me be? Do what you want. Ooh, I don't want to sin, you see. Don't want no evil. Ooh, crawling on me. The four horsemen. Evil in process. Did you know that the horses appear as a lightning bolt as they go from east to west? Did you ever notice that? You got east, and then the dapple one goes south, and then the one with the scales goes north, and then the other one goes west. It's a lightning bolt. Damn Zorro showing up in the scriptures trying to point the way. You fools have no idea what you're missing when you don't pick at this carcass, this dead piece of meat that the God we serve has so graciously thrown in front of you for a banquet. There's no vultures. None. There's no eagles left. What the hell is that? Oh my God, it's that maniac. There's a kid that wanders around the neighborhood. This little bastard, he should be in AC/DC. I'm telling you, man. He looks like a maniac. I knew he was a musician as soon as I saw him. Yeah, I can feel it. I play guitar. I know he's cool. Oh, man. And he's just going home on New Year's Day What time is it? That little fucker was out partying his ass off. Oh, hell yeah. My clock says 1:52. And guess what that? Oh, Lord, you gave me that one. Wow. That little bastard was drunk. Ah, good for him. I don't know. Maybe not. He looked like he's on his phone making excuses. I'm on the way home now. I fell asleep. Oh, man, I can remember those days. I Do you remember your first drunk? I remember it because I wasn't. I remember everything until I get mad. If I get mad, fight mad, then that's not me anymore. I don't know. People say bad things about after I've gotten mad, and I don't recollect it. I How old was I? Oh, my first drunk? Oh boy, was in eighth grade when we graduated because we got like you get cards and gifts from your family, and some people give you cards with money in it. Well, we were all men now. You know what it was? We're in eighth grade, which is what were we 13, 13, 12, and 13 years old. And literally by the end of the summer, most of us are going to be 13 so that we can actually go into high school. But lucky 13, right? We're dressed up in suits and everything. It's we're Italian kids, right? So all silk suits, and we're looking badass for a bunch of 12-year-olds. So and we got money. So we go, and the first thing we do is we hit this really one of the highest, most elegant restaurants in the entire freaking area right there in our neighborhood, okay? Elmwood Village. We go there and we have tacos. And then after that, we're all headed with our dates, and it was like the I got the I don't want to say I got the leftovers because I'll bet I don't know why. This chick was a redhead, so I know she had to turn out hot eventually, right? But I had Deborah Gassick was her name. And it was like she couldn't get a date and I couldn't. Everybody else had choices. We were the two leftovers. But so we were stuck together, but whatever. After we went to eat, we then go to this we're going to have drinks, right? We want to get some beer. Somebody came up with the idea, let's get some beer. So you got to imagine 12-year-old kids now that have been given hundreds of dollars in these gift cards, not gift cards, but am I from Buffalo? My family came. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. Are you stalking me? Hey, enjoy yourself. um, Guess what? Yeah, you hit me in the neighborhood there, but I'll continue on with the story because I can't let people like you bug me. I'm on a path here, and you're going to help me get there, whoever you are. Anybody watching, you're going to help me achieve my goal from God. Can you imagine that? So whatever it is you're doing, good or bad, you're going to freaking help me. So we want beer, and we don't know what to do. So you're going to laugh at this, but we grab some guy walking out of a store. We're like, hey, can you get us some beer? And he's like, well, sure, yeah. How much you want? And we go, and we're like all dressed in suits, looking like little midgets or some shit. Maybe he thought we were just, I don't know, from another country or couldn't give our IDs, or I don't know how he thought of us. Maybe we looked older and acted older than he thought. But we gave this guy like probably, I don't know, 200, 300, $400. He came out of the place with beer on a pallet, not a pallet jack, but the on the corner, and we put it in a field. And he went back and he did this a couple times, 3 times probably, to bring us all our beer. We bought like all the beer, and what we did was we took all the beer and we made like a throne that was built out of cases of beer. and you got to sit in the throne, and you could reach over and you'd rip a part of the throne off, and you'd go. That tastes bad. I want to go home. That echoed. There was still a thing. The thing was sitting there the next day. The whole freaking thing, man. Yeah, we drank like 2 beers. But my first drunk, oh, I remember that really well. Is, is no, it was still pretty. It wasn't bad the next day, even. But yeah, when you're in 8th grade, your first beer, and I don't know what we bought. I want to say I want earnings for 8 years of torture and our monetary rewards, and you return the favor by bringing us Miller High Life. Well, the least he could have done at that time would have been like, let's see, what would have been running around in that time? Probably Bex would have been coming on the scene. Peroni. Shit, if we're gonna go that, how about Shamaclosh? You ever had Shamaclosh? Shamaclosh is brewed one day a year on St. Nicholas Day. And it is one of the few beers in the world that the longer it ages in the bottle, the better it is. It is incredible. It has a color to it that's like it's not even it's weird. It's weird to tell you. The best rendition of the color that I have is it's either like a whiskey, but it has this orange tint to it that's almost like old brake fluid when you're draining it out of when you're ready to change it out of something, and it just has that. That's what it looks like. I'm just saying, I can't help it. Anyway, we paid someone time. They handed us a 6er of Sierra Nevada, big for barley wine. Oh my God, I want to like hang out with you. That's just so well put. I want to read this. We paid someone. All right, I'll keep it together. I got to get my lines straight. We paid someone for time. They handed us a 6er of Sierra Nevada, big for barley wine. We were probably 16. We said, "What the fuck is this? Fools." 16. No, man, I didn't get to wait that long. I was 13. And my fun started at 13 and I got kicked out of the house by the time I was 14. It was a girl, man. Her name was Kathy. Her brother, who was older than us, was already passed away. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Yeah. His name was Jimmy. And he was having a party at his house. I was a freshman in the high school in town as a Ram. That's my mascot name. And where the first miracle happened in my life. A kid who was told he would never walk by doctors. Actually, after meeting me, we actually ran together on the cross country team. But Jimmy was having a party, and he was a junior, so he was like almost ready to get out. I was going in. I was dating his little sister, who she wasn't even in high school yet. She was in 8th grade. I can tell you all kinds of crazy stories, like going to show off for her in front of her 8th grade class. So I'm on a dirt bike in the rain. I pull up in the parking lot and start doing donuts. And her and all of her friends are piled up in the windows looking at the boy in high school. You know how it is with little kids? He's a freshman. Oh, big shit. You know, everybody's going to be a freshman, man. And like, but they're all in there. And I'm like, ripping it up on Mark Bartos XR75 Honda. And I lose it. I wreck it. Dump it. Bent up the clutch handle. Yeah, the clutch was okay. I think I bent the brake handle. So, good times. But Jimmy was having a party, and we were there with a black light poster where they used to, back in those days, they used to have like black velvet paper, and then they would stamp the ink into it. And what would happen is the relief of the velvet would just suck up all the black, all the UV, and wouldn't glow. But the poster behind it just like jumped off. I mean, that was high def back in that day. So if you're old, you can laugh at that shit, okay? And so that was high def. But he had this poster in the black light, and I remember with the Mogan David, when you held that stuff up to the black light, it glowed green inside the glass like it was antifreeze or something. Well, we got obliviated, and it didn't take much. Well, her parents used to go out bowling every Friday night. That was their thing. They bowled on a league, so every Friday night they would leave. You knew you had your house time. I think that Jim knew, had something with his dad, because dad was cool. Dad used to, okay, look at me. See this? Imagine a kid that's like 14 years old starting to outgrow your measly little beard that he had, right? But I would ask him things because it would freeze up, and I'm a little kid and I'm looking to an adult, and I would, in all honesty, this is going to be heartbreaking to you, but I would look him in the face and I'd be like, how do you keep your mustache from freezing up, you know? I'd be out in the winter in Chicago and freaking looking like Iceman, right? In high school. And guess what? This guy, and he's like, man, I don't blow my nose in it, you know? Now, you're right. You're right. I digress. He's always got my back, doesn't he? And it's like, you know, I know that he means it in a bad way, like trying to be a wise guy. But really, if you don't breathe into your mustache, if you blow out your face this way, try to, you'll not freeze this much as much, you know. In fact, if you could actually plug your nose with something, ask me how I know. But Mr. Fandry was really cool, right? And so mostly he was a dad, and that was his daughter. Okay, so we'll just put it that way. Well, everybody, they're coming in the front door, and we're all blasting out the back onto bicycles because we're just kids. We don't have cars. So they come in the front door, and all the kids filter out the back door, the whole party all at once. And it's like, oh, come on. You know they had to know. But I leave. I go flying down an alley out onto 79th, would have been 80th. Get back on 80th, back up onto Menard. She lived on the same street as me, but just all the way at the other end of it. I lived at one end before the end of town, like opposites us. But I jump on my bike, start heading for home, and I cross a 4-lane, pretty good roadway, 45-mile-an-hour speed limit with cars blowing their horns as I go blasting across, blindly just driving. And as I get a couple blocks down, I go, oh, I didn't say goodbye to Kathy. And I turn around and I start heading back. I cross the street the same way, just not thinking, blind. I'm drunk, man. Wasted. Fly across the street, same thing. Beep, and I make it through. I get in front of her house. I see the parents' car. Oh, her parents are home. Oh my God, I can't go near her. Turn around, head for home. 3 strikes, you're out, baby. Guess what happened? I got smashed on the other side of the street. Okay? Beep, rough. The last guy on the other side just standing on the brake. They didn't have ABS, didn't live then. Okay. Pow! Slows down, but just enough to clip my rear wheel. I almost made it, but just nicked my heel, man. Knocked my bike out from underneath me. I ate shit right on my face, into the curb. But I'm tough, you know. I'm a young kid, man. It's like you can beat a teenager up pretty damn good, and he'll manage and even join the Marine Corps. Well, the guy, I don't know what he did. I think he was just like happy I was still moving and he left, man. He didn't want to get in trouble, right? He didn't know if I was drunk. He probably was going, oh my God, poor guy. It probably scared the hell out of him, right? Like thinking, this guy's brain damaged. Look at him. Oh. No, he's just tying on his first good juice bag. Okay, buddy. So I go home, and what happens? I'm sitting at the kitchen table trying to be cool. Don't go hide. You know, just be cool. Just be cool. So I'm sitting at the kitchen table being cool. And I'm like, you know, eyes are swimming. You can tell when somebody's jacked. And I was probably stunk like you couldn't believe. And they're like, so where you been? Uh, just I was over, you know, and then man, it was immediate excuses just because they asked and they knew they busted me. So they finally send me off to my room. They know I'm drunk and I'm wasted because it's settling in now, right? So they set me in my bed, and these are my foster from the money source. Kind of weird, right? Guess what? Set me in the bed on my face to make sure I don't pull a Jimi Hendrix and puke in my sleep, right? You know, get him on his, don't let him sleep on his back. Okay, I remember that. They get me on my face, and then, you know, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, to try and get up, and I just fired everything I had into my pillow, just right, and then my arms gave out, and I just remember, oh God, he's laying in it, yeah, you know, just lost their minds, and I guess they cleaned me up and whatever, and finally in the morning, I wake up and I'm like just roasted, you know, and they're like, so instead of any you're grounded, whatever, no, no, no. Foster care is different. If you're going to act like a man, you're going to work like a man. Now you're going to work with working with the man of the house every chance I get, which is on Saturdays going to a body shop where all the drunks are. There was a guy there. He would actually, this is Fifth Avenue Body Shop in Maywood. Okay. And there was a guy in there that you could get your car fixed for anything. Just bring beer. Just bring Wally some beer. Fix it all, man. Give a shit about anything. And yeah, that was a bad neighborhood, Maywood, Maywood, Illinois. Oh man. Oh, I could keep going and going and going with this. I've had a very full life. I don't even know where that story was headed at that point, but but being from here and then all the beer, and that was the first drunk though, and I got hit by a car, and then wound up, you know, trying to have to explain myself and everything to the parental units, and it was exciting, very exciting. Just play it off. my my dad bought me a black light because he was badass. God bless you. Hell yeah, man. Now those are useful. You can jam them next to a water source and they'll knock off some of the bacteria for you, you know? Useful thinking. If you're using a plasticized, oh, never mind. Yeah. Keep those out of the light. They react. Whew. I need to leak. I hate this because there's no music. There's nothing. I can only play so much music of my own. I should just record some stuff and make up some songs and record them just so I can play them in the background. I think I remember what the title was now. It's like I think that's just a simple question everybody should just ask themselves. Do I perpetuate aggravation either with intention or maybe because I'm affected by it, so I let it spill on me and I go somewhere else and got to stink it up over there too, and not to mean that not like you do it with intention. It's like you've been offended and you got to go somewhere and you're just kind of airing it out, right? And other people are like, oh, well, they kind of get a whiff of it too. And sometimes they want to smell that nasty dog and they understand why, because you happen to be the one that's now going to take them to their tipping point. They finally have found somebody that understands what it is that they have to complain about. And so then it grows. But everything grows in the same way. Love and caring and everything grows in the same way. It's why when you see tragedy, you'll see the most unusual people stepping up to the plate and kicking ass. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I've heard stories of mothers like, somebody's pinned under a car and like I have to say it. I can't conceive it. Woman walks up and like picks up a car so that they can get the person out or something. It's like, I'm not going to say that can't happen, because in the moments of gotta make it happen, you'll be amazed at the things that you're willing to give up and do. If you're a hero, if that's in you, if that's the seed that's in you, I don't know. Some of us are like that, right? Some people run away from tragedy. Other people are like, I can help. And it's like, you know, the piranhas are chewing your face off and your fingers, and you're going, I know, but they have cavities. And you're trying to like, that probably went right over your head, right? The dentist trying to fix the piranhas with cavities. wait, no, just hold still. I like to be a major positivity. Then I'll give you a name, John. We'll make it simple. I need to visit the facilities. What is that? 24? Yeah, I don't even want to call that. I didn't even touch that thing yet. I got 24 ounces of happiness that need to go get recycled. So give me a couple moments. Let me see. Oh, maybe. Can we? Will we? Here, let's get him some of this. One thing I got to say, is the following. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're our favorite Watergate family from the town of Bedrock. I can't wait till I can get up and pee. I am about to burst at the seams. Back teeth are floating murky green. Where are we at? He didn't need that shit when the big one hits. Oh, look at the shelter man. Get it, Jerry. See, you can play your own shit. They can't say anything about it. Ah, God bless me. Works like a hound. Most of his work takes place 6 feet underground. He doesn't care if the neighbors say that he's insane. He's got to finish his work before the nuclear rain. Oh, look at the shelter man. Oh. Somebody's message got rejected. Oh, yeah. There we go. Bam. I spit them out when I am interested. Money's not what it's about. I just got to get it out. I don't wanna be no whore. I cannot bring to life my wants. I'm an idiot or a savant. Something's come naturally. Some things have no fee. Some may say it's better than this. Well, they do their jobs, I do this. I know what it's for. I don't wanna be no whore. I cannot bring to life I want. I'm an idiot or a savant. swirl around inside my head. I spit them out when I am interested. Money. I lost the last verse. From this dump I say I am a success. Alright. We killed it. You believe that? Man. All I need now is the rooster to crow 3 times. There's a clock striking downstairs. There goes the rooster. Yeah, here come the rooster. Oh, yeah. Good times. And bad times. Look at me, man. I got the pick. I'm ready to go. Whoa. Boy, Henry's really going off over there. Vodka. En el nombre de Padre y del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amen, Madre Santísima. En tus manos pongo a mis hijos postérgelos. Amen. I hope I said that prayer right. Thank you. That's Jonathan. That's a good name. You can't go wrong with a friend named Jonathan. Unless he's not a good friend. Yeah, so you have to look at Jonathan's name in the light of who his father was. And it's all this for and against stuff going on. So all the names in scripture are just really crazy. They're crazy. They mean so much. The name means so much. It's almost like we're being mocked, when in Judaism they say that they, Hashem, the name. And it's like, yeah, the name. What's your name? Even Jacob, when he had his epiphany moment right before he became Israel, what did he say? What is your name? And it's like, oh, how can we not understand how important it is to what the name of something is? See, the name of something is more than the name that I've been given when I've been born. It could be any. The name is whatever I call it. That's what it is. It's like Adam, right? Except that, wait, no, you can't call it that. It's already named. No, it doesn't work that way. Whatever you could decide that it's something different than that name. Well, I don't know. You're guilty of branding, is all I can say. Yeah, the whole name thing, coming in your own name, coming in the name of the Lord. Why do you ask my name? That'd be a great Bible study. Everywhere where it talks about a name. And what you're immediately going to see is that they named things and places because of what happened, right? But those places like Jerusalem, that's a bunch of dirt on the ground somewhere. Dude, whoever you are, ma'am, whoever you are a walking bag of dust that is filled with the Spirit of God, which gives you life. You're like a mobile temple. You are a city on 2 feet. What kind of light do you shine? Are you on a hill? You in the dungeon? What? The name. That would be a good place. But you're going to find everywhere it's going to say, and he called it this because of that. He called it this. But what you're going to realize is you'll find spots where it will say things like, you're going to read it, and until you knew with intention that you were going to try to figure out why they gave that name, you will read that passage, that verse, and it'll just say, and his name was this for whatever reason, and you'll just like, it don't matter what the person's name was. And I remember listening to a pastor who was talking about Nehemiah, I think it was. And actually I might even have the CD. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We come prepared, samurai. Oh yeah. This is the very first sermon that I ever listened to, wanted to hear. And it was after they tried to kill me. Seriously. And I felt called to God. I should probably change my ways. And so that was the very first sermon. And so the sermon itself actually went all the way from the 1st of August, 2010, and concluded on 8/29, 2010. And it was on Nehemiah. That's my birthday month. And I always start my jobs in or around my birthday. Weird. Unless when I started for the Marines, that when I started on 1/26, when man was created. Remember, created things aren't good. Do people realize that the Marine Corps cheer that says "Oorah" is saying sheep evil? I'm not making this up. It's like our God is everywhere, just mocking the shit out of us, man. It's pity. But I remember I was gonna leave. I was gonna walk out. Lady at my work. I said, I want to go to. Well, go home and pray. Pray for exactly what you need, and God will give it to you. And I went home from that little encounter with her with so much hope. I was like a little. I don't know how to explain it. I felt like as a child would believe because I remember how my voice almost cracked. I went, really? Like she said, yeah. And I'm like, you're kidding me. It's that easy to just ask God. She's like, yeah. And I went home believing like that. Well, guess what happened when I woke up? I wanted to go to church, but I also wanted somebody to guide me. Well, I wound up with two very specific answers to that prayer. Both were trying to let me know what denomination I should go for. In my mailbox downstairs on the street, there was a letter from a Catholic school that I attended as a child that I got thrown out of. I was abused in there. I think they were just trying to cover things up. Throw the kid out, just get him out of here. Maybe the problem will go away, right? Yeah. Anyway, and then the other one was from somebody that I knew in the Marine Corps who I hadn't heard from in over 25 years. And it just so happened that he happened to be a Baptist pastor. So, but yeah, it's weird when you ask like that, right? But I wound up going to church, and when I walked in to this place, a TV screen starts dropping down, like unrolls from the ceiling, right? And first off, I walk in and I'm just like looking at all these chairs set up, and I'm like, this doesn't look like any kind of church I've ever seen. This is more looking like an auditorium or something, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody starts sitting down, and then the TV screen starts rolling. The guy starts talking from a little podium, and he just looks like, I don't know, a teenager or something from high school. He looks too young to be a pastor. And then this video screen starts rolling down. And as soon as it started rolling down, I go, oh, no, no. I went, oh, no, no, bullshit. I'm out of here. I ain't staying for this, man. I turn around and start walking out. And then the first thing out of the pastor's mouth as the screen rolls down is he goes, what kind of crazy people does God pick to do his work? He picks people that are smart, people that pray, and people that care. And it was like, he's talking to me. Because my IQ is 178. And the other stuff is a throw in. No, it's the other way around. If you don't have the other stuff, it doesn't matter how much brain you got. You got no muscle if you got no heart. You're like the Grinch. You need to grow that shit. But yeah, I remember I stood up to walk out. I was literally going to walk out. And I was turning around, and then that was when I learned about Nehemiah. And that's basically what I feel my purpose has been since 2010. Remember how he wandered around for how many months? I wandered around for 10 years. And the state of the wall is pitiful. The walls are broken down. You know when it says that you'll live in a city without walls? Yeah, that isn't a good thing. But people will read that and, oh, we'll live at peace and with a city without walls. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Guardrails, right? It's okay to have a little guidepost there to keep you in line. Otherwise, you might do something foolish like wax your Messiah. That was a bad move. Way bad. We brought a curse on ourselves that we really deserved after that. Who takes out the vineyard owner's son and gets away with it? Nobody. We're still suffering for that. I'm feeling hungry. You know what I ate a little while ago? I made myself some just crackers with a little butter on it and a little slice of garlic. Oh, it's so good. Hell has open borders. Hell has high walls and guarded gates. Right, but those gates don't have to be physical. The when it speaks of, like, for instance, when it talks about being in Jerusalem, again, the names are so important. Jerusalem means literally teaching of peace. So think of it. When I'm in Jerusalem, when the scriptures say that, those in Jerusalem, and your enemies surround you, it's basically saying if you're following the law and your enemies are surrounding you, who are you defending yourself against? Those people try to harm the body, but fear the one who would destroy your soul, and so on, right? So when it says New Jerusalem, it's speaking of him, literally, Jesus and his teachings. He was the New Jerusalem that already came down from heaven. And the people who will come afterwards will destroy the city. And we did, and we have. Oh, it's terrible what we've done. Crazy, a little bit fat. Everything else like me a little bit low. Enjoy it on top of it too. I love it. It's so pretty and easy. All I gotta do. Oh, hey. Could always eat an old potato. verdict is... All right, check this out. What are the chances? I bet you've never seen this in one of your cracker boxes. You ever get a cracker like this? It's not busted. It's folded in half. This is like the moon is going away. There's about to be an eclipse. You see that? But these little babies, simple. Just a cracker, a little slab of butter on there, and a piece of garlic. Mm. I could hit that with something. Like maybe a little parsley. Which is funny. Well, I was going to tell you a parsley joke, but find out I was a vegetarian. And what time is it? Now, most times they want to clear the sidewalks at an hour so people can actually use them, right? The snowplow guy who does nothing but block up your driveway, in my opinion, just went flying by at what, 5 o'clock at night? Was it because it's New Year's Day he got to sleep in? Are you, can I give you a little sobriety test there, sir? You look like you might be driving a little crooked. Slippery? Oh, okay. I get it. Oh, here he comes in the other direction now. He just made 2 passes in front of my house. I guess I wasn't shoveled in good enough. He had to go get more snow. Is he going to do it a third time? No, he went by in the street. No, I was about to pick up the camera and swing it around like, no way. Oh, it's miserable. It tears up the lawn and shit, man. Boy, those are too easy to eat. Oh, man, my hands hurt from grabbing that thing. Look at my finger. My poor black and blue finger. Boo hoo hoo. It's okay. Purple's all right. It goes good. You know, it's all over trying to open a bottle of sauce. I wanted some barbecue sauce. I don't have any meat to put it on it, but I still wanted some barbecue sauce. I'll put it on my potato chips. I'll eat it out of a spoon. You what? I've been fighting blasphemous thoughts. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, yeah. They're probably not as blasphemous as you think. What's the matter? It's pounding on the keyboard right now or something. Can I go get a snack while you're typing? God, what a miserable rabbi this guy is. The other day, I think I had an intentional thought against Jesus, and now my heart has hardened. What did you have against him? And don't forget, what did he say? Sins against the Son of Man will be forgiven. So if it's you think like you can't go forward just because you're hardened or whatever, but it depends on what your thought was. See, what happened was is now you've been given a little bit of a test to see if if you can stand your ground or you're going to have to figure something out. You're going to have to reconcile the situation is basically what it comes down to. But um, I didn't utter the blasphemy. It was against the Holy. It was against the Holy Spirit. No, it can't be. Impossible. If you had any problems with the Holy Spirit, you wouldn't be talking to me right now or anybody or even concerned with it. The fact that you are being convicted means that the Holy Spirit is still at work in you. You're fine. What does it mean? I don't know. You're having a moment. I don't know what kind of thoughts you had. And probably, I don't even think you should even discuss it if you're past it, right? Uh, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. I don't want you to bring those kinds of things out into the public. Maybe it's something we could learn from on that. I'm certain of, but I don't want you to, you know, it's unnecessary. The fact that, like I said, the fact that you feel like you're being convicted, you are understanding what grace is. Then you're actually operating under what grace is. See, grace is evil that's used for good. So, which means that when you screw up, grace is the period of time between a sin that's committed and payment for it. And then during that time period, if you're actually your spirit is trying to repent and atoning and so on and be of a good servant, right? A good servant to our Lord, then guess what? That's that time where you start to then change. Are you struggling with, I don't know what to think about Jesus? I mean, the fact that you say something blasphemous, do you realize that in the Gospel of Thomas, it talks about just such an instance where what happens in the Gospel of Thomas when this happens is that Thomas is actually having a moment where he's going like, "Oh my God, you're both God and the devil or something. You're like kind of like everything all at once. Whoa." And it's the problem is he's not wrong. If you read Isaiah 45:7, that's the capabilities in this, our Lord. I form light, create darkness. He does do everything, and he is all of those things. As soon as you separate him, now you've got him cut in half. You've cut the baby in half, which is another lesson from Scripture. And then you got a war now between good and evil. But that isn't the way God works. God isn't inefficient. He's working all the time. When you think that you're doing evil or whatever, he's attacking you from the other side to push you. It's like the goads. And it's designed to be hurtful, to bruise you. Sin, you know how they is death, dying. It's damaging. It's you getting beat with a rod to get you back on the path. That's the purpose of it. And the idea is don't take advantage of it, right? That's when it starts talking about a strong person. A strong person can't make it in. Why? Because they figure out how much they can stand. Their strength isn't in their muscles. Their strength is up here. It's their will and their mind, not his. And if you can manage it in the right way, you can drag your life out for quite a while. If by strength, right? Like Paul says, by managing your life and doing the things that you should. But you know, people keep asking me the same questions, man. No, I don't know what I am. I am White Rabbit, the rabid rabbi. And the funny thing is I picked that name just randomly, decided, I don't know why, it sounded cute, interesting, comical, maybe get people's attention. Because I got cocky at one point. I'm like, I can't believe what is going unseen within the pages of this book and right in front of our faces, and nobody can seem to detect it but me, little old me. You got to be kidding me, for real. And you start going, and then you know what, it's everything. That's what happened. And then I started to realize, for some reason, the kingdom that I am waiting for to show up, it should have been here starting being built 2,000 years ago, and we're still here waiting for somebody to show up. And so then I'm looking at it, I'm not blaming man, I'm not blaming God, nobody, but with no bias, I set into going, what the fuck happened here? And it makes me sad, because like, this thing's broken and everybody can't even see what in the hell it says. Let me show you. But I can't get anybody that wants to hear what I want to say, because they're all want to read their books, and this person said this, and God, that guy said that. Give a shit what they say. What does a road ahead of us look like? Okay. I see it dissipating and turning into vapor and scattering in every different direction, like we're heading into dust. And that's what I'm here for, to claim the dust. I'm here for the dust. Shake it off your feet. Get rid of it. Get the hell out of here. Had enough of you. Yeah, I answered your question. I said, don't worry about it. What does it mean? Don't let it, I don't know, don't let it bother you. Are you still convicted and wanting to do good? Then you're fine. You get to the point where you don't want to do anything for the Lord, you want to run in the other direction, that's when you're heading for trouble. That's where I'm at, because I'm not seeing anything going. So I'm going to have my Jonah moment. You know, he wants me to preach and keep going because my head is hard as flint and so on. And yet at the same time, it's like these people are rebellious. They don't want to hear me. They don't give a shit what I'm saying. Where's my errand? I need help. Nothing. So I don't know. What do I do? Do I keep trying, or do I walk away? And I'm like, I don't know. My hands are tied. I feel numb. My heart feels hard. Well, what is the thing when you, are you mad at Jesus? Is that what it is? Did you get angry? Oh, so you got angry because what? You didn't get your way or something? Or he didn't show up when you thought, is probably what it is, right? What's blasphemous thought? Like Jesus having sex or something, or what? I mean, it's none of that stuff. It's trivial. I mean, really, you're spending too much time on it, I feel. Cuteness. The the F information info. How you doing? Welcome aboard. I'm sorry I forgot to shave this morning. Um, yeah. Against the Holy Spirit is pretty bad, and I don't. No, but I'll talk to anybody that wants to. Get them all in here. Why are people asking what I am? I don't know what I am. I'm a person that can read, that doesn't read. I can't read. That's not even, I can't even say that. I've read less than 10 books my entire life. I can't read books like that. When I read a sentence, depending on how you read the sentence, it could get confusing. And you're like, no, why? You're just reading the sentence. And it's like, no, that's really not true. Let me see if I let me see if I can find a sentence. And I should have some of these. I should, You know what? I really should, because this is probably the 50 gazillionth time I have said exactly that, and I always keep saying it again. I should write down some examples of this so I can have it. Somebody asking me a specific question. Why does this mean this? Why would God do that? What does it mean when he kills all the firstborn sons? And I'm telling you, not a piece of flesh has been touched when that happens. When the firstborn sons die, not a single piece of flesh has been touched. It's referring to your spiritual sons. Egypt, your sons are going to die because you're Egypt. You do it your way or you do it God's way. It's not, and it has nothing to do with flesh. It has nothing to do with flesh. Spirit gives birth to spirit. Flesh gives birth to flesh. Let me see. You know what? Let me get to something Jesus said. That's where we'll find it. Yeah, that's pretty thick here. I just happened to open it up to where, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll demonstrate how much we don't understand what Jesus was teaching. Do you remember when they were trying to stone Jesus? Okay, Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods? If he called them gods to whom the word of God came, and I will add, Jesus came to us, what does that make you and me? Gods, small g. So now when you read the verse that says something like, he didn't, though he was equal to God, he didn't consider it something to be grasped. Are you equal to God? Apparently enough to get your ass kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Man has become like one of us, right? It's like, pick a freaking side. Hot or cold, what do you want? Are we like him or not? And if you keep sitting in the middle like this exactly was pissing Jesus off. You need to be hot or cold, or you're this vomit. This book is garbage to us. We're going to be destroyed because of this book. This sword has taken peace from the earth. And even the book, Jesus told us, warned us about it. There's some other better ones. I don't mean to get so fired up, but it's like there are some other better ones where it says something, but depending on how you read it, it's like, wait a minute. If you have that pause at a certain spot, there's no comma there, but you can read it spiritually accenting specific words, and then it flips the meaning of it around. In some cases, we do it. We actually strip spills man's blood, then by man shall his blood be shed, right? Is that giving you rights to spill another man's blood? Not if you read the rest of that as it continues, because it says, for man was made in the image of God. So does that man is to be a judge like God and go out destroying each other? I thought only God is supposed to judge. No, what that verse is actually saying is that if man spills man's blood, then man spilled that blood and not God. For in the image of God was man made. And this book is written like that, with prideful stumbling blocks just invested everywhere, specifically invested to grab those who want to think they know what they're got going on, all entitled and prideful and everything else. Oh, this book will destroy you. And Jesus turned it all on its head and made it very simple. It's about love. What about Matthew 5:17-19? And realize when you're using these verse locations like that, they're helpful. And what I'm telling you is there is a system that they use where these numbers will line up in certain ways. I can prove it to you. If you want to spend enough time with me, I can show it to you. It's not that hard. It's just you have to think in a Jewish perspective. But you're saying 5. That's the number of grace for that. And 17 through 19, 17 is the crushing number of victory. And 19 would be adding 2 to it, so that's going to be an agent of change. So Matthew 5:17. Matthew 5:17 to 19. Oh, nice. It's right at the top of the page. And I do not, and this is even at the top of the page, and it's a section where it has a subtitle. This is very weird. You can check all my videos. I don't lie. I specifically point this out every time this happens, that it doesn't break the verse at the top of the page. And it's right at the top of the page. The fulfillment of the law. The fulfillment of the law means that the law doesn't go away. He was saying that he could fulfill the law. We could have broken the law and not condemned him to fulfilling the law. Do you realize that? When everybody was screaming, let his blood be on our heads and our children's head and everything, we were literally cursing ourselves as about to make a human sacrifice to God. His only role in what he did was to not strike back, to not raise his hand against his brother. It's like, and why? I can explain that to you if you can understand the reason why they even modified Matthew when they were adding parts to it. Like, do you know the section where it talks about the woman caught in adultery? That's actually they feel that was added. And do you know why it was added? I'll tell you exactly what Jesus wrote on the ground. Okay, he wrote 2 different verses on the ground. The first one he wrote was Exodus 21:12. Okay, shall be put to death. Now, what I want you to notice is there's no deviation in that law. And it says man. Now he's off the hook. So now he gets to work on saving the lady's ass. He's got half the stones dropped because he's mentioned the older part of the law. Now he's going to mention the younger part of the law so that the older people will drop their stones. It actually works in reverse, see? Because the older people are saying, man, but guess what he does? He comes back, Leviticus 24:17, which is one of those, that's a day and a crushing victory verse. See, 21:12 is a reversal. It's a 3 and a 3, but it's 2 and 1 and 1 and 2. That verse is very special because it's like a mirror. It's like a gate and a door right there. You're going to have to break the law in order to fulfill. You know what Leviticus 24:17 says? Whoever strikes a human being so that they die shall surely be put to death. And I'm telling you, there's a big, big difference between really and surely. Because God didn't really say, in fact, God never said. It was Lord God who said. God said we could eat from any tree. Lord God said. It's subtle, my friends, but he's in there and he got us. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. It can't be abolished. When he said the law can't be broken, okay, 10 Commandments, for instance, you think you can break the Sabbath? No, because then all that will happen is then the works, God will take over because man doesn't rest. God never rests. So you can't break the Sabbath because God's still working anyway. He's always working, right? But for instance, let's say the part where it says you honor your father and mother. Do you think you can break that commandment? Actually, you can't in a spiritual sense. You can't. because you don't have an earthly father according to Jesus. You shall call no man on this earth your father. Your fathers that the children's hearts are supposed to be turned back to so that they can understand their book would be Father God and the father of lies. You will always honor one of those fathers and his consort because those are the son always does what he sees the father doing. The question is, are you a son of God or a son of perdition? That's the teaching Jesus was doling out of my face. Why I know it, I don't know, but it's not that hard. You have to separate yourself from this thing and you'll get it. Do not think I've come to abolish the law and the prophets. Like I said, you can't. It's impossible. Even where he says you'll have no gods before me, you can't have any gods before God because he's the God of all gods. He knows. You know when a man knows a woman and produces the fruit? Well, he's God of all gods, so he knows them. If we try to serve those gods that he knows, we are serving gods that we don't know because he knows all the gods. And in fact, proof of this is Dagon. When he was in front of the ark, you go grab any rabbi worth his weight in shekels, and he'll tell you that when you read that section where it talks about Dagon showing up and falling before the ark, all that whole section and passage reads as if a worship service was interrupted. And it was, because Dagon was bowing down before his God. And then when they stood him up, well, then now you're talking statue of Daniel, okay? The gold head and the hands, the thought, the mark, the name, and the works, the silver, the dross, right at the door. Right at the door. Now you're alone. Why in the hell would you do that? Maybe if you got apart for a little while or something like that, but yeah, don't leave your wife. That's crazy. Do not think I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. You can't. I've not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. In other words, to show that they could be fulfilled. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. And that's like until everything is accomplished, but to Jesus, everything being accomplished would literally mean like singularity, exploding, turning into everything we see now, and then us, Elohim. You know you are Elohim, right? That's how that would read. If he called them Elohim, to whom the word came, that means that you are Elohim. You are a God that the God of all gods is charge of. Okay? You have to read it in that way or you can't understand this book. Don't think you have to read it like as if you're like him. Don't see God being like God as something to be grasped. In fact, I see it as a fucking tragedy. Excuse my mouth. Because this is like wreckage. I can't imagine what it would like to have God sitting there going, can anybody down here understand this? Anybody? And it's like, it's a hard thing to figure out because when it uses that word to know God, can you know the mind of God? I can. Because to know is to produce fruit. As soon as you kick it up into here and start putting numbers, who can calculate this and who can numberize that and who knows this and how much information is that? You don't know anything about our God. In fact, you actually don't know anything. The only reason you do live is because of a spirit that's inside of you that comes from our Lord, our God. You couldn't move if he wasn't in you. I don't care what it is and who you are and what you're doing. Get out of my face with your holy stuff. Holy just means dedicated, all of it. I form light, I create darkness. I make peace, I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And so when you read the beginning of Genesis, I I propose that the Elohim that created darkness and evil are created, don't forget, things. The heavens and the earth is mankind. And we're literally looking at two different creation stories because we're watching mankind say everything's fine. We created it. There's only good and very good. Everything's all there's no bad here. Good and very good. Scary. And then what happens in the end? The very same thing. It's just we're getting some foreknowledge. When it talks about foreknowledge, it doesn't mean he knew you by thought. It means that his thoughts knew you and caused you to make that day come. When the scripture says, no man knows the day or the hour, how could Jesus say any time will do if you couldn't know it? Know something? If it comes through me as a fruit, if it's good, it's not from me, it's from God. Because man doesn't make good, God makes good. If it come through me, his spirit allowed this body, this dirt that I'm made of, to do whatever it is that I did. I can't claim it. It's wrong. If it's good, I can't claim it. I have to be like Paul and say, what I want to do, which is good, I do not do. The only thing I can claim is whatever that I do that's bad. So here, my God has nothing to do with this. I do. So there. This book is trouble, man. It's everything. It's either a sword or it's a shovel. We're either going to learn how to garden with it, like the bunch of dirtbags we are, or we're going to hack each other to pieces with it, one or the other. It's coming down to it. And I'm getting old and I got to go. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of the pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Anyone who breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But it seems like everybody's getting into the kingdom of heaven here, doesn't it? But whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. What happens if you practice those things here? Heaven on earth. Amazing. Sitting right in front of our, at hand, literally. For I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. You want to know why I love that verse? Because you know what that's saying? How can you surpass the written law? How can you surpass the written law? What did Jesus come to teach us? About the Spirit, right? Jesus even says that when he's quoting that psalm where he's talking about where David says, and the Lord said to my Lord, which is not that confusing, and you got it wrong, by the way. It's not talking about Jesus. When the Lord said to he says about David, he says, when David, speaking in the Spirit, he specifically says that. He doesn't say, when David says, and then he quotes the psalm. He says, when David says, speaking in the Spirit. Well, that's because spiritually there's a different law than there is written law. The spiritual law has no law. at all. Those who are born of the Spirit, it has no direction. It's ambiguous. You don't know where it's coming from and you don't know where it's going to, but you see its effects. This is crazy to understand this like this. I feel like he taught me himself. I really, really do. Maybe I'm Judas. Will you accept that? Maybe that's what they knew back then. Yeah, we got to save the worst for last. I don't know. I don't know how to teach you guys to help you out. But I see a much different thing in this book, and as I see it, I should have been born into a wonderful kingdom with free beer and not this garbage, and like just a better place. The makings for it were all sitting right there, and somehow it got corrupted and jacked around. Jesus' teachings are solid. Best rabbi ever was. Best rabbi ever was. Son of God, we all are. You need to understand that. We all are. But there's also bad or good sons of God. Okay? That's what Psalm 82 is about. Which one are you? Are you the one? Are you the one that's connected to one? Or are you part of the many that are all for themselves? And it's okay even if you are. You'll figure it out eventually. The many are just the wicked that are reserved for the day of judgment. Wicked people are here because we're under judgment. Judgment started in the Garden of Eden. Man was appointed once to die. That was Adam, and he died. Then the judgment. What's the judgment? You can't be judged until you know how to judge. Once we knew good and evil, we knew how to judge. Welcome to being a lawyer. Here's to us. Those with important things, like giant rocks that are about to pummel the planet, which without unity, we will fall because of our own troubles. In other words, the wicked are sent to judge the wicked. Well, that's what the purpose of it. See, if we're wicked and we're fighting with each other, brother against brother, hand against hand, we then waste the resources that we have been provided graciously and with which to persevere on this planet, and in a wild ass way, like through abundance and so on. Rocks in the sky, plink, give a shit. Our resources are used for garbage. Let's admit it. Oceans are full of plastic. I don't need a new damn phone every 5 weeks. Just get all the people that keep smashing it up out of my hair, and I won't need one every 5 weeks. In fact, get rid of this thing and just give me, I don't know, smoke signals or something where it requires me to actually go investigate and see what's going on instead of all this electronic work faster, harder, get nothing done so a few people can sit in their place eating everything that they want to eat, and I'm down here drinking shitty beer and saving a cracker that probably would be better eaten. Isn't that weird? That's the weirdest cracker I think I've ever seen, man. I've never seen one folded in half or folded over. Mm. Yeah, potato chips, crunchy crackers, stuff like that. Not so great on a live stream, You're better off to eat something like tomato paste or dog food. Maybe tuna out of a can. um, so, oh wait, Thailand. Whew. I hope you're safe. Woo! Man, I always wanted to go to Thailand. Just the food. Oh man, people freak out when you go to like somewhere where they're okay. I'm going to say something that's going to maybe people might find disturbing, but it's like, man, when you go to these countries that are a little bit different than yours, don't get so bugged out about when you see, if you're going down the main drag, okay, through some little section there, and there's just people with stuff set up and they're selling and doing, I I really don't think that those other good people that are in that kind of a, you know, people feel uncomfortable there and they don't understand that there's a level of respect reigning in that position. Because if there wasn't, it'd be chaos. And the level of respect that you're going to find when you go to Asian countries is a little bit higher than in the Western world. So don't feel like if that person that was in that other place was doing something wrong, you wouldn't have to worry about it. The other people there would get rid of it for you. So when you go to these places and they're selling, got strange food, something, give it a shot, man. Don't worry so much, okay? Explore a little bit. You might happily find that something that you couldn't believe really was better than you thought. But it depends. If you don't have that kind of a palate, then stick to your own guns and don't embarrass anybody. But it's like, oh, man, I'm sick of eating the same thing over and over. You know what I mean? I need to go somewhere else in the world, to some other country somewhere, just so I can change my life and like reboot, start over, eat some good food. I don't know, start a different family even. Just, I got to get out of here. Um, um, help, help. How to scrap, to get scrappy. It doesn't mean that I think we create more of our problems in our head, and then they spill out of us because people can people can sense that you're afraid of them or maybe worried, and that they get offended by that. It's like, why are you worried? I'm here to help you out or whatever. And eventually, after so many times, it's like, why are people thinking that I'm an offense? And then it starts to grow on you, and then you kind of sticks, right? So I don't know. But anyway, um, depends on how you define demon. Confused, ignorant, and emotionally damaged could lead one to bad things. That's not really a demon. Well, but it is see, what is a demon? See, people think that to me, a demon is anything that affects you inside. At one time, and I use this as an example, uh, they called this, they still do, distilled spirits. Well, what the hell does that mean? Well, obviously, they have conflated the idea with I can distill grain or something and create something that is literally going to be like liquid devil. You pour it in and it works, right? And so any demon that's inside of a person, if you this book is very old, okay? Psychology and all that stuff, it's partially in there because even stuff with demons all makes sense. God built a good place for us. You just have to kind of patch it together and be accepting of how things complement each other as they flow through, instead of looking for every opportunity for everything to be of a battle or fight, right? Demons and, you know, when I see people saying anything about Satan and demons and devil, all I can think of is one verse that Paul talks about. Okay. Paul didn't get in all this Satan junk, crazy stuff. And so, therefore, when he says the doctrine of devils and demons, that's exactly what's going on in the Christian church with all this devils and demons. It's like, get over it. Maybe if you shut up about it, it will just go away. The more you blame your problem on the boogeyman, the more you're not facing up to and trying to resolve your issue by the power that's invested in you. We've been given authority over this place. When Jesus taught with all, that's the verse right there, right there. When it says that Jesus taught with all authority, people think that means what? He showed up and went, he pulls up and he flips out his wallet, shows his badge. Yeah, I'm Jesus the Christ. Yeah. No, Jesus the Crepes he's out this week. I'm here. But yeah, I'll be doing the teaching. I got authority. Yeah. Oh, my papers. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, Heil Hitler. And then he goes on with this thing, right? No, the all authority that he taught with was to say, he taught saying, you have authority. You were given authority in Genesis. You were even given authority over the snake, the creeping things on the ground, before he was put on his belly. Drop and give me 20. Better make it 1,000. In and out. Make it 2,000. You were given authority. And that's what he did. He took the book and made them feel responsible for what they needed to do. No workers, none. Vineyard unserviced. He taught with authority, saying he showed us that we were the ones who have authority, and we've done nothing with it. Even John getting his head cut off. Are we supposed to wait for somebody else, George? There's so much symbolism in there. It's terrible. We're being mocked and destroyed by our God or by a book because we can't connect these dots. And don't even get me started on Michael Heiser, because that would have been my bestest friend ever. We would have taken over the planet, the theology of the planet anyway, and set it on a better course. But he needed an adjustment too, because that divine counsel that you're looking for is not in outer space somewhere. It's all inside, right here, or maybe in the place of the skull. It's in you. Your spirit is in you. If you turn it in psychology and all this other demons and whatever, forget it. You're never going to. This book is a deficit to us. It's a sword instead of a shovel to help us garden. Be a gardener. Be like Cain. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be going so crazy. I get on fire because it's like, once you can see this, I can understand why these people totally like crucify. Oh, you're going to kill me for what I'm saying about God? Hi. It's like, I feel insulted because I don't get the level of respect that everybody else got. Luther burned at the stake and all of that shit. Where's my damn trial? Put me on trial with your book. And you know what you're going to wind up with? You're going to wind up with so many people pissed off. They're going to want to start class action suits. How come you didn't see this? How come this guy said? You know what? It doesn't matter. 2,000 years later, the guy who knows it is sitting in front of your face, and I'm being mocked and laughed at. And the best I can figure, this is the comfort I gain. I go, well, maybe I'm just supposed to be the thief in the night, and I'm just supposed to show up so that God can go, I told you. I tried to tell you, nobody listened. And that gives him then rights to judge. Has every eye seen me? I don't know. I got 1 million views on YouTube. You tell me. I don't know what it requires, but I know that I'm not a waste. I know my tragedies, my life, and everything I've been through is not for naught. And I don't blame God. I go, okay, that's how I feel about it. Okay, I see what you were doing. You were showing me this. You needed me to learn about this. You needed me to see that. Oh, you needed me to do this. Okay, yeah, blah, 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 all the way through. And it's a very comforting thing. It's a slavery like you can't imagine. I feel like a gear in a wheel, in a machine or something, or in a clock. You know, nothing big, just that one little gear over there that does whatever the hell that thing does. You know, might even be an extra part in a plastic bag somewhere. When they put the thing back together, I can be that part that they just go, what the fuck is this? Yeah, that's how I feel about myself. I don't feel important. What makes me important is that because of my disconnect from the whole thing, I can see it like it is. I can see it as I can see him as he is. I can see it like it is. When I realize such a part of me, and so much so that it permeates this whole place. This whole place. Where two or more gather, I am there. ECMC squared. Welcome to power. Mm. And like I said, then so it's for me myself personally. If I, if nothing happens, I don't know. My last name has Moses in it. I have a lot of character traits of Moses. My bloodline runs into Egypt like Moses. My last name is named after a bush, which is in Africa. Um, do I get to see the kingdom? Maybe not. Maybe that's just my job. Maybe I just keep going back, and maybe I am the prophet like Moses, and that's just how it keeps going. Shows up, tries to make course corrections, helps out, can't get nothing done. Fuck it. Kill him off, die. Devil even fighting over his body. He was an asshole. You see how he's drinking beer and everything all the time? He was saying irreverent shit. And God's going, hey, even irreverence is justified. Um, I form light, I create darkness, I make peace, I create evil. In fact, I even created you and gave you enough leash to hang yourself. You get back to your job, Satan. I got shit to do here. Have you considered my servant job? There's none like it. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm here just to be the judge, the speck of dust that so then he can turn around and say, I don't know. It's like I'm then what am I, the last one out? How am I to feel about that? It sucks. It sucks. You're the all important nothing, the nobody that was found to go. See, all of scripture has to be fulfilled in all senses of time. The is, the was, and the will be. So when he says, I searched for somebody to go, and nobody was found, I'm somebody that went because they could be nobody. That's when my life changed when I said that prayer. I read that when I was reading the scriptures. I started realizing that because God can't change, they have to be true. And the is, the was, and the will be. All three senses. And and then you start, and then I came across that verse. Nothing bothered me. It's like, yeah, this could go either way. And then I hit that and I was like, wait a minute, this says that nobody will ever be found to go. And I'm like, that's bullshit. He wouldn't leave us stranded. It's a trap. I'm reading it wrong. Somebody has to be found to go. And then I realized that it would have to be somebody who agreed to be nobody. And then I said that prayer. I said, Lord, I said, if nobody has to go, then I'll be the nobody that'll go. But this shit's got to end. This shit's just got to stop. I think grace is going to end with me. I think Job when I first started my walk, and then I lost everything. My life was destroyed. I lost my house, everything he did, house, home, cars, friends, wife. The only thing I didn't lose was a wife. And eventually, she got to take off with the dogs. And then I picked Enoch, and then I became a prophet and a scribe. And that's what I have now. And it's like, I'd like to pick a different name, or is it going to be given to me? And I think of Methuselah. And he's like, he was there, 969. That's like a pattern. That is a pattern. And he was right before the flood. So that's the sign. That's the times of Noah. Sign of Jonah, that's you guys. You guys are Jonah. Jonah refused to go. He refused to do the work. So what happened? Jonah means spirit. So then the spirit gets dumped in the sea, and then the sea what? Vomited it out onto the land. That ties into what Jesus said. If you weren't hot or cold, then I'll vomit you out. So Jonah wasn't hot or cold. He didn't go in judgment. He didn't go in praising or he was trying to just run from it. So Jonah was a lukewarm. And then what happens? The tree winds up being destroyed by the worm. But you can tie that into Job because the worm is actually the Son of Man. Jesus actually calls himself that as well. And it's the worm that destroys the tree. So it's the Son of Man that destroys what? The tree of knowledge of good and evil. However, you are that tree. And that tree is found on either side of the river. Even when they cross the Jordan, it's like a battle plan. First, you go across the Jordan. That's the descender. You take out evil. What's the next step? Every great light needs a lesser light. The lesser light does all the work, but the greater light rules over it that the work would be good, that it would reflect the greater light. And so after you take out the descender, the next thing you do is you take out the moon. That's Jericho. It's moon. You take out the moon, and then the very next thing that will happen then will come a testing of the laws. And if the laws fail, AI, heap of ruins. So AI is a reset and then start over. Heap of ruins. And that's where we're headed. If I can't accomplish what I'm trying to do in my ministry, AI will take over for the rest of it. Thank you very much. See, AI is man. You know how God created man so that man could reign? Well, man created AI, and AI will reign unless. I think it's too late. This is my gut. I want to have hope, but I'm like Moses, man. I don't have faith in you guys. I see nothing but just junk at every turn. It's terrible. It scares me. I mean, I can't believe some of the stuff that's coming out in the news, like about these are people that we needed to run our country. And like they're all looking like a bunch of damn jacked up sexual criminals and shit at this point. It's like, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. This is feeling like Sodom and Gomorrah or something, like just get the hell out of that city. Except that in my situation, the way I look at it, I need to leave the planet. So maybe the aliens will come and pick me up, get me out of here. All right, what do we got? Let's answer some questions. I don't know. I got here. Just came from parental bloodline. What's this person saying? Let us not tempt Christ, as them did and was destroyed by vipers. Yeah, that's the problem. Is we don't realize that we are the vipers. Well, alien equals demon, but I don't know. I don't think these aliens are. I'm more apt to think that our God created the whole place. And Jesus even says, I have other worlds. I don't think it says other sheepfolds. I think he says other worlds. And we can't, we dumb down the scriptures, the words that are used, because they seem too dramatic. Other worlds, you mean there's another earth somewhere or other beings or something? Why couldn't there be? Who in the hell are we to think be so arrogant to think that, like, what, we're the epitome, we're the best that God can do? Wow. I need a break. Holy shit. Talk about wow. Oh yeah. We're going down, 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 down. We're going down. All right, hang on. To see that something's wrong. I wonder why the whole place went. I wonder why they changed the rent. I wonder. No, come on. Everybody love everybody. I need some real food. Need some real teeth. Yes, I'm praying. Alaska. What? Yeah, I'll go to Alaska. Um, I call upon the infernal flame. uh, I had you know that whatever God you serve lives inside you, right? You become a temple for him. That's why it says, when you've seen the Son, you've seen the Father. It's not just talking about a good father. If I see a bad son, well, I know who his father is then too. Pretty simple. And that doesn't mean I'm judging you. In fact, I can't, because I'm told I can't judge another master's servant. So if you're working for that guy, you're under his authority, not mine. That's why when you're being judged, after you're done treading the wine press, he'll be standing there ready to accuse you. The trick is to be smart enough to let the Lord rebuke him, not you. That's the best battle plan. Just saying. Paralyze the chat. No, you're good. Simple is as simple does. I really want to go back to running. I sure had a good time. I saw these people running, but they were running from people in white trucks that had grain symbols all over them. Now, I'm from Greenboro, but I never seen no trucks like these before. They was weird trucks. And the men inside, they was built like big turtles. They had big shells built onto them and guns that could fire 1,000,000 bullets in 1 second. Mm. Weather here is insane. Really wild. What day is it? I'm sorry. What day is it? I hope you get to a point in your life where it doesn't matter what day it is. It's just a good day. It's another day. You know what I mean? I don't worry about these things. When is it? Let me see. Maybe it'll tell me up here. Oh, it's Thursday. So that means, well, the snowstorm is in theory should end by 1 o'clock tonight. But I haven't listened to the radio lately, so I don't know. Could be it's going to tear it up the whole weekend long again. You know how the weatherman is. That's the only job you can do every day. Mess it up every day. Still got a job next day. Can I get a witness? By the way, while I'm out here entertaining you guys, if you happen to know any theologians, professors, people that study this stuff, please hook me up with them. Give them my phone number. 716-229-1343. We have a planet to save. Thank you. Carry on. Aw. Did God ever make you smile? Can you see the heart in there? Well, it just fell over. It did look like a heart. I love you too. I got this. It's a bitch job. That's what I am. The queen dog. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. You scream crazy experiences. Care to share any? If I assume. Uh. Huh. Wow. I don't know. You ever robbed a gas station? Ugh. Free, I guess, right? Is that a? Hang on a minute. Oh no. Okay. Just the perfect reflection on my guitar from this angle, and it looks like a big gash in the side. It's like, wow, did I bang that hard? When the hell did I do that? Anyway. Name. That's what I want to do a study on. The name. All right. Let's see. See, it's funny if I was to say use the term to. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit. It all comes in a flurry, man. You guys like bomb me like all at once. What the hell happened here? Hmm. I cannot get in contact. Universe provides most of the time. Well, you guys are part of the universe, I assume. So I'm supposed to ask the universe, right? Anytime I tried as a teen, I put socks on my hands and make a mask of my shirt. Tried to break the window, and I got smacked in the head when a rock bounced off. I cracked my skull open, got my head cracked skull. Now I'm perfectly normal. Bottle launched out of a car, bounces off of a mailbox, splatters on my skull. I got a crack in my forehead, the guy that goes up and meets it and runs down all the way the side of my head, all the way down. I don't know how far, almost like damn near to the jawline. And I had a little blob and bleeding out the top, and I couldn't tell, I couldn't, report it to the parental units because I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So I'd have a hard time explaining about, drinking beer, driving around in a car, throwing bottles, going to parties. That was a crazy party. We went to this chick's party, and we were like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what era you grew up in, but I'll just describe the high school mode, okay? So we're wearing we're wearing normal Billboard T-shirts, right? Some people got rock bands. Those were popular. Another thing that was cool was you'd have something on the front, whatever, and then on your back you'd have like your name, or your girlfriend would make sure that everybody knew who you belonged to. So it'd be like, Chris and Joanne or whatever. And so guess what? Here you are now marching through the place. Yeah, wow. I can't even go any further in that story. What the hell are we talking about? Man, I just want to go back. Um, so we wind up, us like average looking kids in jeans and whatever, and and we somehow we wound up at some party at somebody's house, and these kids were like, I don't know, it was strange. We went in the front door, and then there were people standing around with like, they looked like doctors and lawyers and shit. They were wearing like polo shirts and dress pants and nice shoes, and we're like, dude, we're out like partying, man, and what the hell is this? And they weren't really rocking hard, like we wanted to do. And then I just remember that I was the one who took everybody there, and the chick that invited us, she goes, hey, she goes, Chris, I really like you and your friends, but like, can you guys just go? You can take all the beer and everything, because we invited you. So what did they do? I said that. They mob the place, steal all the beer, and then we're walking out like, no, 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 walk like an Egyptian, and here goes the whole party. We took everything. We're driving in the car, drinking beers. I whip a bottle out of the window. It winds up bouncing off the mailbox. It slams me, the bottom part, the heavy part, hit me in the forehead, and it still broke the bottle. So you can imagine how hard that hit. Anyway, and it was funny how it happened because I got hit, and I've been hit in the head. I got a head like a freaking rock, man. I just know I do because I've been hit so many times in the head, and it's just like I just like shake it off, and it's like back at it, right? And and I was the kid next to me. He's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You sure?" And I go, "Yeah." Did you want to go anywhere? Are you okay? And he's like, "Just check me." I go, "I'm fine, man." So we're driving along. Didn't even phase me. And all of a sudden my face kind of felt cold. And I like wiped my face, like, why does my face feel cold? Like went like this and it felt slippery. And I looked down, I saw the blood on my hands, like, take me somewhere, do something. But it's like, yeah, I've been blasted a lot of times upside the head and just right back in action. But yeah, the benefits of having a rock head, right? Been robbed a couple times. Ay, ay, ay. Oh man, not at gunpoint. That's not definitely not good. One time at Wendy's, and that ain't the suburbs anymore. That's like a freaking war zone. Suburbs was like, I don't know, some nice Puffyville, where everything was kind of cool and pretty. Sheesh. That's nuts, man. This hat is actually here. I'll show you where this is from. Man, it's from here. You ever see this movie, Die Cheerleader Die? That was that was that was where I started my Christian walk. My faith actually began on that movie, on the set of that movie, because I was going through a bad time in life. Lost my job due to the economy was tanking, .com bust, housing bust, everything. Um, yeah, and so wow, what wreckage! I wind up of all places trying to find work on the set of that movie. Well, the first day of shooting, the very first day of any, I and when I it's a long story. Anyway, first day of shooting, I decided to walk off the set and into an open field just to say a prayer. I don't know. I wasn't religious, but I was like, just somebody help me. It's like I need, and my prayer wasn't no sinner's prayer. It wasn't any of that. I said, God, I'm a piece of shit, and I don't know why you would even bother helping me if you even existed. I said, but please, if you do exist, let this be the day my life changes. Was walking back after saying that prayer. I was crying because I was busted up. I lost a set of twins, unemployed, houses on the line, marriage falling apart, fell out of college, no job. Everything was bad. So I'm walking back to where the lady does the makeup, and on the ground I see something sparkle in the grass. And I back up and I dig it out, and it happens to be a crucifix. And I'm kind of like, whoa, that's really creepy. I'm rubbing the dirt off it and kind of felt like somebody's watching me. I still feel like a weird, right? But anyway, and I start walking back, and the lady says, she calls me over because she sees I got my makeup messed up. And she's trying to comfort me and tell me, you're okay, don't worry. They'll shoot the scene a million times. I'm like, no. I go, you don't get it. I go, my life's a wreck. I go, I just went out there to, I'm busted up. I went out there to pray, and then I was thinking about it, and then I go, and then I found this, and I held the cross, and she jumped off of me like I had, the plague or some shit. And she starts doing the sign of the cross like crazy. And and I found this, I held up the cross. And she says, "Do you know what day it is?" I'm like, "My life's one tragedy to the next and no sleep in between." I go, "It's Friday." She goes, "It's Good Friday." And it happened to be 9 o'clock in the morning. And that was how my walk of faith started. And then what I have discovered is not believing is your worst enemy. Like, I don't know why. Things just fall together when you believe. If it falls apart, you kind of don't give a shit. But more times than not, you'll find that all the resources come into play. And right now, I'm holding the biggest damn deck of cards I've ever had, ever in my Christian walk. And I believe that I got the right to slam it in the table and see what the hell everybody else is holding. And it's going to fly eventually. But that's what I'm saying about faith is the harder, if you believe, there's faith and then there's, that's why you can, and it's weird because in the U.S., people won't buy the stories that you'll hear about things that happen in these little third world countries, people rising from the dead, stuff magically materializing that people need. Now, I'm not saying that it flew out of the sky, but you can't help but see the hand of providence resting on you and helps you out, right? I mean, that's what it's supposed to be about. Anyway, it's supposed to be. I don't know if I don't know if could look a man in the eyes from my SUV at Winnie's drive-thru and watch him held at gunpoint. Well, some people, you got to realize that some people that might do that are also smart enough to know that they're going to get themselves in a, they're going to create a lot of trouble for themselves if they actually do that, right? You got to hope there's at least that. I wouldn't taunt the person in case they're having a bad day and been drinking or some shit, but yeah, no. A lot of people who carry guns do actually have some sense. They're just looking for the respect that they demand, and unfortunately, that means they got to go about to get it. I think you already know about. For some reason, you remind me of him, but more real. Who's that? Me? I'll have to look that name up. The Marlboro Man. No, but you would think so with all the coughing going on in it. It's a combination of things. Carbohydrates just ruin me. Like, what I miss? I used to love going to McDonald's and getting like a Coke. Oh man, you tell them, or if the machine was there and you could do it yourself, you just punch that button a whole bunch of times. Boom, 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 boom. So it's nice thick syrup. Man, I can't drink that stuff anymore. I drink it, and it's like my body has a response to the corn syrup, and just like bleh. It's like it's crazy. Gotta go. Happy Thursday. Hey man, happy New Year. I hope you like just have the best blast time ever and fall upon nothing but I don't know, good times and love. Like you won't need any theological conversations with me after that. Was it that bad? I'm sorry. I simplify things to the nuts and bolts, ain't it? Heaven is a human need. Hey Sydney, you're getting ready for spring, ain't you? Or no, you're heading where would you be at? Right? It's weird to be reversed like that, ain't it? So simple. Well, not the first day of summer. It's the 31st. It's actually 10 days after, but hi, yay. Here we go again. Pluck them out. Good grief. Can't wait to shave this bad boy off. This is ridiculous. They clog up the vacuum cleaner and get twisted around the rollers and everything. So, like, plan B is an old tissue box with a slot. And as they magically appear, as they always do, you just. Or sometimes just go hunting, you know. You're not really plucking, so. Sometimes you get a black one that you can't really see in the dark. Anyway, it's hard being a man, you know, and all his hair and everything. Dang, I tell you. Yeah, summer. Yeah, you're well wait, are you a day ahead of us? Where are you at on the GMT? Cuz Israel's one over. And you're under Israel, huh? Right? Yeah. See, that whole time zone thing is really weird how that works because like when I was in the Marines, we took a flight from Japan straight into Alaska, and we were in the air for like 17 hours. It was insane. It was the longest flight ever, man. It was just like people sleeping, some whatever, and but we were flying against time. And when we landed, we actually landed. We landed 2 hours before we left. You know, it was like all that. I mean, it was like talk about jet lag, man. And and everybody was so tired. I mean, I really couldn't sleep very well on the plane. I just couldn't do it. Some people were drinking on the plane. In Japan, they have no they where we were anyway in Japan, very hard to get like dairy products, right? They don't have like an abundance of cows and stuff like that for milk. So I was drinking powdered milk for I don't know 6 months or whatever it was, and so everybody on the plane is like ordering drinks and whatever, and I'm over here looking at the waitress with these big puppy eyes, Do you have any milk? And she's like, whoosh. I'm like, no, no, I mean in the cartons. No, I'm just kidding about the slap. But she looked at me stupid, like she goes, I go, do you have any milk? I mean, real milk? And she goes, and she looked at me like, what? I go, I've been drinking powdered milk for 6 months. And she gave it to me, and I was like, just looking at her like pitiful, can I have two? The kid who couldn't wait to get some milk, man. And I almost went and got myself some milk the other day. Well, you got something to complain about? You want a man's point of view, maybe, or I don't know, different perspective from a cultured uh, person to a animal. Hi, that'd be me. Oh, the message is hidden. Dang it! Every time. Sorry, come back again. Hey, what's up, Florida? You deserve to know, since no theology given, none taken. Ah, you guys still got warm weather down in Florida, right? There ain't nothing going down to grab you and freeze all our citrus crops out again. You figure with all this global warming, I'd at least be able to have some, cheap oranges. What I want to know is, are oranges cheaper in Florida? Like, since that's where they are, maybe, right? Where am I living? I'm in New York. It's cold. Oh, ooh, high 30s? Yeah. That's not warm enough. That's not Florida. That's I went down there one time. Actually, I spent my actually it would have been around today because we were down there for our honeymoon when I got married. I would have been married. Let's see, that was in '95, so that would have been what, 95, 2005, 15, 20, 30 years ago for my second marriage. And but yeah, we went to the Bahamas, and I remember we were freezing. Wow, man, it was cold. And I mean, some of the things I remember were just crazy. I remember getting off the boat uh, in Nassau, and like, there's guys standing around with M16s and like tents, and they're tearing up. They're not tearing up, but they're going through people's luggage. And it's funny when you listen to some languages, the language might not be aggressive. They're not saying anything aggressive, but the language has a passion to it, right? Like Italian, they're not really arguing. It's just how you speak in Italian. I don't know how to say it, but we get off the boat and there's guys running around M16s and they're going through people's luggage and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is weird. So it's already set me in a weird mode. Like, okay, I'm in another country. I better, be wary and be respectful and stuff. Don't have too much fun. This ain't your place, right? And so we go out looking for. It gets really cold there, cold, freezing, and we didn't bring any sweatshirts. We brought shorts, flip flops, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of what you would call sandals and stuff, right? And so we finally find some sweatshirts, and as we come out of this T-shirt shop, like a souvenir place, um, we walk out into a mob. It's a big crowd of people, and there's like a video camera from like a TV person stuffed in my face, and a lady with a microphone, and she's going, "Sir," for an avenue out, because I'm like, "Whoa, what the hell's going on here?" And all the people are behind her going, "Blah, blah, blah." They're all just doing whatever they were doing because they were happy because it was the news. I don't know what the hell they're saying. It just looks like an angry mob to me. And she's like, "Sir, this, well, the weather. What do you think about the weather? Is it the weather is so cold. And I go, and I'm like, well, the warmth of all the people that I'm meeting here is making up for it, I guess. It's like, I said something like that. It was that damn corny. I was just like, shitting in my pants. And and so then what happens? Because it's not such a big place, the whole time I was there, everywhere we went, it didn't matter where. Go here to this restaurant. You're the guy from the news. You're the guy. They probably only had like what, one TV station, right? Of course, I was the guy from the news. There's only one channel. And that's why I realize that now. Yeah, it's impossible to try and get a message out in the other direction because there's 50 million of us, and we got beards and hats, and we carry Bibles and use them like clubs and rights from God to go destroy every nation under our, within our reach because He said so. And it's like, are you out of your mind? That ain't nothing to do with God. Get over it. Oh man. I got blocked messages here. You look like one of those rap guys' girlfriends or something. You look like one of those rap guys' girlfriends or something. I like big trucks and I cannot lie. I switched to four-wheel drives and the drives kick in and the big wheels spin and my mud don't get stuck and I gotta get some. Yes, I'm driving like an animal. Now here's my scandal, cause it's a lawn and I'm Ron and I'm ripping it all along. Ladies. All right. I'm getting tired. And I need to make some kind of food here. A couple crackers over the course of a day really is not so great. No appetite. Anyway, anybody got any theological, any questions, good Bible stuff you want to, no, nobody does. We've, if you are a person of faith, we've taken a book and attacked a world with it, and it's bad. Nothing wrong with the book. Good exit song. Money's not what it's about. I just got to get it out. What it's for. I don't wanna be no I cannot bring to life my wants. I don't know what that is. Me? Oh, absolutely. All kinds. Bicycles, mountain bikes, motorcycles. Prefer motorcycles these days. They're easier. That's what I'm going to escape on. That's how I'm gonna trade all of this for the best built bike capable of not breaking down. And I'm going to go away somewhere. I'm going to go find a beach to sit on. Or maybe a bar to sit at and eat some chicken wings or something. Put coins in a jukebox. Play some tunes that I haven't heard since I was shit, who knows how long, and like just mentally go back there. What do you ride? My AC/DC hat. Oh man, I'm hungry. I got it. I want to make myself a little mini pizza. I gotta. What kind of bike do you got? Oh, a Triumph. Oh man. Oh, your girlfriend rides a trike? What man? I had a Triumph, a T500, a lot of years ago, and I never got to actually get it on the road and start riding it. It was it was chopped. It was a hardtail. Um, yeah, that's pretty damn cool. I can show you a picture of it. Some pictures I know exactly where they are. Well, every picture I know exactly where they are. This one's just easy to get to. Here. That's it. But that's the same. That's the forks, the original forks. They just cut cut the frame, took the tube back a little bit and shortened it all down so that it was kind of raked out a little bit. It was well built. I mean, it was solid and everything. Probably would have ridden it. Well, no, I never got the chance. But I mean, I can tell you the little bit that I did ride it was almost comical because the damn shifters are reversed on the other side of the bike. Oh man, that screw with you when you're freaking riding two different kinds of bikes like that. I couldn't. You have to literally, you have to flow when you're on a bike. You know what I mean? You understand when you ride, but I'm doing all right. How are you? Currently motorcycles, and I don't know. I don't remember what this conversation started out as. I had a few of them going, but then people chopping out the audio, blowing up the stream, and whatever. And I don't know. But yeah, we went on a motorcycle ride as soon as I got on the Marine Corps. She wanted to go all the way across and on a motorcycle to California from Virginia. So, and we made it as far as Florida, and then we got hung up down there. Yeah, we stayed there too long. Maybe my fault. Out of the Marine Corps, and after 4 years of not being able to do what the hell I want, within a month I was realizing, oh my God, I'm free, and it was hard to get me to do much of anything. Well, so we never made it very far on that, but we were riding a CX 650 custom, if you can imagine that, two up with luggage and gear even. Um, but that was a plush ride. That thing was had a nice big beef. We had a bigger tire on it. We had the tire on it that went on the Gold Wing, so we had a giant ass tire in the back. Had a little windshield on it, a little windscreen on the front. It was more of a deflector screen than it was a windshield. It was really small, little diamond, like a little diamond shaped one, you know. Uh, and it had a king and queen seat, which was kind of cool. And then what I did was to make it comfy, put a sheepskin. And if you ever see the way they cut the sheepskin, how the shoulders kind of show up in the cut, those were draping around the sides and just kind of happened to line up with the little triangles that were the tank, underneath the like the engine. It was like, and so you had, this thing loaded up with a big fuzzy seat, and it looked a lot bigger than it was. And but yeah, that was a good bike actually. That was a good bike. I'm in New York. Food. We need food. Day, right? Um, I didn't take the time to make any dough to make pizza. I should make some dough and freeze it. How do you do that? Do you just mix it and then before it starts to rise, just throw it in the freezer? Man, because that'd be so much easier. And then just pull that out and throw it in a bowl. Shit, yeah, man. If that's how easy it is, I'm being an idiot. Which I'm fairly accomplished at that. I got a degree, I think, somewhere. I don't know where. Variety of different training. Yeah, yeah. Nothing like finding yourself humble to teach a good lesson. Yeah, I love your beard too. Jesus, Jesus Christ loves y'all. He died for us. Carry your cross and follow him daily. Jesus will return one day, and we must be ready. He's already returned. He lives inside of each of us. Can't you see him? How long have I been with you? It never is, brother. Just spreading the good news as he told us so. You are good news. It's like oh man, Paul saw it coming so much. He saw it coming. What did he say? A form of godliness and deny its power is when you're screaming about evil because you're saying that God ain't doing anything about it. It's like, of course he is. He's letting it destroy itself. It will maybe fizzle itself out that much faster. But the more you get into, supporting it, glorifying it, screaming about it on the news. I mean, it's crazy how the media and a spirit of worry will get spread, through rumors. It's terrible. It's like we're victims. We're victims of ourselves. So there you go. Oh, dig it. I built the chopper back in the 70s. It was originally a Triumph 650. Ooh. I raked the frame, 4 over 21 inch. Ooh, 21 inch front wheel and cut down 16-inch rear. 9-1 pistons was pretty impressive. You know what? You want to know how much I paid for that one as you see it? And that was in 80. I got it right before I got out of the Marine Corps. So it would have been 87. I was in California at the time. So, obviously the weather's a little different. But I paid, I'm not kidding. You ready? $400 and rode it home. And yeah, $400 is all I paid for that. And then I wound up when me and my wife went on our motorcycle ride when I got out of the Marine Corps. I left all my stuff at my brother's house. He was supposed to take care of it, and we were supposed to come back. And I spent too much time away from there. I should have went back as soon as I could instead of trusting him to watch everything. And he didn't have my bike in his garage. My bike was somewhere else, or he rolled it out at the last minute, but he burnt his garage down and much of my stuff. And the bike that I told him to take care of, I said, listen, I go, until I get back, just spray silicone on it all day long. Cans of silicone, just keep it wet, spray it on everything, the leather, the motor, the tires, the chain, everything. That's all you got to do. I'll take care of it. That was my idea of what kind of cosmoline could I spray on it to keep it stored. There were people that brought these old shovel heads back from World War III, and I don't know, or is that a knucklehead? I don't know. But anyway, they're these old bikes from like the 40s that were caked in cosmoline, and it was a bitch to clean it off. But I figured if he's just constantly spraying silicone on it, it'll get that wet, whatever, and just keep doing it. Everything else should be fine. Well, he didn't do that, and the bike, by the time I got to it, man, I have some pictures of it that'll just make you cry, because it's like, you're like, the only difference between this and sticking the key in it and driving it away would have been like, 5, $6 worth of silicone every year for 4 or 5 years, whatever. Nothing to be, worried about. It's like, but there you go. I paid 600 for it. Wow. Yeah, but see, you had to do all the work to it, right? You didn't get it like that. Yeah, mine came exactly like that. Everything done. We were out on a motorcycle ride. We lived in it's like Southern California, okay, Santa Ana area. And so the places where I used to like the Silverado Canyon, Ortega Highway was a good run. That was uh that was a lot of fun. Before sport bikes got in there. Once the sport bikes got in there and started getting really radical, just people driving like idiots and stuff. Um, that was nice though. You could take a ride, jump on it from the 5 or the 1, and then you head down all the way through, and you come down out of the mountains or out of the hills, and you break out of the hills and you hit the edge, and then you can see Lake Elsinore, and it's like just all out there, and then you go doing switchbacks all the way down the hill to get to the bottom to where it is. Um, Silverado Canyon, and we stopped at this little Trabuco Canyon it was, and we stopped at a um, what do you call it? It was like a general store looking place, and it looked like a real general store. Like the wood was all aged. There was a cork board out there with a bunch of stuff up there, and some of the stuff that was up there was like just ancient. And you know what? Things didn't move around like they do now. Now, people, right? Maybe not always, but usually, if you put it in the right spot. This was a picture of the bike and everything, and it said $400 or something, and I don't know how long it was sitting. The ad looked so old, I probably could have told the guy 300, right? And he would have took it. But all I asked him, I go, does it run? Can you ride? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, it'll ride. And if you could ride a left-handed bike or whatever. So yeah, I bought it like all built, done, ready to go for $400, man. I couldn't believe it. It had a nice little cage for the there was like a little like a box on the side where you stuck the key in just so it had like an ignition switch kind of thing, but it didn't have a starter. You were kickstarting that bad boy. Anyway. Hey, you're gonna get knocked out of here, man. Go ahead. Fart one more time. You're gone. There. What I did was I stuck a cork in him for 24 hours. He'll explode. We'll never have to worry about any more farting coming from there ever again. Do you ever see what happens when somebody has obsessive farting problems and you cork that? Yeah, it's most uncomfortable thing. It starts backing up. Your stomach starts growling at first. Gets really weird, and then you feel like uncomfortable, and then it's kind of weird. You feel like you're not inside yourself because your body's all separating from itself. It's like inflating from the inside out, and then it comes out as one giant fart, and everything is so loose that you can actually blow your intestines all the way through and out the other side, and you can wind up with like strings hanging out of you, and you're like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Yeah, yeah, could get bad, man. Yeah. Uh, I need to make food. I could sit and chow on those little garlic cracker things that I make. Oh man, and that would be really good for me too. Eating on a bunch of garlic. Talk about some good farts. Smells like Italian. we used to go for runs. We used to go for runs back then, pub crawl, waiting for the same stragglers. Most of us were speedway crew, and they were all running British bikes with chairs on on the dirt track. Oh man, the good old days. About to take a little trip and never come home. Doesn't that sound good? Hey, you too, man. It's a good note to send off. Shout out the Lone Star or Leon Star, excuse me. 3652. Yeah. Ain't nothing going on here with any riding at this point, man. Unless you want to ride a snowmobile. There are some kids ripping it up back and forth down the street here yesterday. Um, but that where I live, the people on snowmobiles got to be loving this because it's been like years since they've been able to really get out and ride, you know. And now it's now would be a time when it'd be cool to have a snowmobile, right? But I don't know, keeping all these seasonal machines ready to go for whenever. Yeah, I put my I put my snowblower in storage, um, and then well, I hadn't used it for almost 2 years, and I looked in the tank, and I went, yeah, it does have gas. And I go, I bet you this thing will start. Fires up, ran, blow out the driveway, done. Put it back. See you in another year or two, maybe. I'm glad I can make you feel better. Maybe I owned your dog in another life because they say dogs look like their owners. So I don't know. Ugh. Oh, that's it. It's over. He yawned. I love you guys.